Hello again, Internet. Welcome back to another edition of Eric's Corner with the word of the not-so-wise. Today I'm going to revisit what I was telling you about buying and selling cars, buying them to fix up and resell and so on and so forth. So I recently picked up a 2016 Ram Hemi. It has a very common Hemi tick, which could mean a few things. Best case scenario, it's an exhaust leak or it's a really minor valve issue that has an easy fix. But inside the engine stuff usually is not going to be an easy fix. So, I bought it for pretty cheap, really cheap actually. I take it to a shop and hopefully put a couple grand into it and flip it and hopefully make $5,000 to $7,000. Well, the shop won't repair the problem. They will replace the engine, but they won't repair the problem. Just to fix the problem is like $5,000 or $6,000, or a whole new engine to have them put in is 10 grand. So, and of course you're probably asking me, well, why don't you do it yourself, so on and so forth. Well, I could, but problem is I invest a bunch of my time and money into this issue. I have to buy the block, which, by the way, the new engine from Dodge is $11,000. Now, that's for the Optimum, what's called a long block. Now, you've heard of a big and a small block. Put that off to the side, because that has nothing to do with what a long and a short block are. A long block, it's a new rebuilt engine, or remanufactured, or possibly a new engine. Has new heads, bearings, camshaft, water pump, oil pump, crank bearings, pistons, rods, all that, all the main guts of an engine. That's what you do. You take that engine, you take your old engine, you take the intake manifold, the exhaust manifolds, all the sheet metal, the small stuff. Then, of course, your starter, your alternator, your power steering pump. There's a lot of stuff that's got to be transferred, so it's very labor intensive, which I'm capable of doing. Problem is I can't warranty it. So I go to sell it to the next guy. First of all, they go, well, why are you selling? I say, well, I bought it and put an engine in it to resell. And they go, well, do you know what you're doing? I'm not an ASE certified mechanic. I'm not licensed and bonded. I'm not actually running a business where if something happened, like say the engine was defective, cool, whoever remanufactured this engine would give me another one, but then it comes out of my time, and it could potentially not be very lucrative. I mean, you could do 10 of these engines or 10 swaps like this, walk away with $5,000 in your pocket. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It probably wouldn't be that much, but let's just say it's 50 grand. Well, you have one of these not go correctly for you, and it just cost you $15,000 because you had to buy all this new stuff and then plus your time and everything. So it's what's mind-blowing. It's a 2016 Ram half-ton, nicely equipped. I give it overall 9 out of 10 just because there's one crunch in the back rear fender. It is almost not worth fixing. So in my other videos, this just gives traction to my other videos when people are talking about, oh, well, you could fix it up or do this major replacement and flip it and probably make yourself some money. It's like most of the time, any of the stuff that's 20-ish years old, it basically I'd have to buy it from you for about $100, maybe $500, maybe $1,000. But the $4,000 to $6,000 that you're asking, saying, well, maybe you can fix it up and make some money, just simply is not reality. The labor on this alone is $4,000. So, and you say, well, you do it yourself. You don't have the overhead that they do. Okay, you're not wrong, but problem is, if I'm going to buy something to put an engine in it to drive it myself, like I could with this truck, I got to come in after I put my time into it way under what it Blue Books at. Because what's the point? Why would I put the effort in? Why don't I just go buy one from a dealer that has a warranty and they'll fix it when it explodes, or buy one that somebody else has already paid to put it in there and just pay the, say, $25,000 or $30,000, whatever the truck is worth, and not fuss with it. See, these things got to be worth your time. I talked in my other video about your time. You need an hourly wage. What's your time worth on top of return on investment? Now this thing, again, I put an engine in it. I could just sell it for a couple thousand more what I paid for it, have a good, not great return on investment, very minimal amount of my time, and get the same as if I put an engine in it. I could possibly only barely get more. And again, I can't warranty it. I can't get max value out of it because your average person is going to go, well, I don't know you. I don't know if you know what you're doing. Is this thing just going to blow up on me shortly? And the mechanic wouldn't even fix the problem in the current engine. First of all, it was expensive. Second of all, I wouldn't do it anyway because I'm not going to, if a mechanic who's been lots more time mechanicking than me says, hey, this repair is not going to hold up, even if it was a $2,000 repair or say a $1,000 repair, if he's very confident that engine is smoked in the next, 5, even 10,000 miles, I'm not going to do this sloppy fix and then send it to the next person. That's very bad vehicle karma. I've seen that shit bite people in the ass 100% of the time. And very shortly, I'm not sure. Vehicle karma is a nasty one. So, and you could ask, like, why don't you throw an engine in it and drive it yourself? Okay, I could, but problem is I'd only be upgrading my current truck 6 years. My current Tundra already has an engine with 30,000 miles on it, a transmission with 20,000 miles on it. This would just have a new engine, and it's not even that full Ram cab. My Tundra still has those half back doors, they still open regular, but I'm not getting more cab. I'd be getting a bigger engine, which, okay, cool, I like. But also, even selling my Tundra for maximum money, I would be, and if I put that into this other truck, I would still, I only owe $2,000 on the Tundra. Why don't I just, I would now owe 10-ish grand on this other truck and be, it's not big enough upgrade to warrant it, I don't feel like. Even though it's a little nicer truck and I would be happy to drive it. So anyway, I'm just going to take and just pull a few grand out of it, sell it with a price according. And, again, it's not a good investment, but I don't think I could potentially lose money on it. But, well, I might be eating my words real bad. But so I'm going to circle back around. The truck is almost not worth repairing. I talked about, you take a truck 10 years old, it's going to be worth half. Well, probably less than half, because this is probably a $40,000 truck. It's just turned 8 years old. It's quite over average mileage. It's been about 13,000 a year, ish, versus 10 to 12,000. My mind is boggled by this. People think their old car is worth so much because these newer cars are so just out of touch expensive. Well, they're getting close to catastrophic failure and they're not worth repairing. Again, truck's 8 years old. It's almost a parts truck. It wouldn't be surprised me if somebody just bought it for the transmission and the rest of the parts in it. It's still worth fixing, but barely. And it would be worth having a mechanic do it. For what I have into it, I could have the mechanic into it. I'd be right about Blue Book not taking the brand new engine into account, which doesn't make them worth that much more. $10,000 engine swap, you're going to get about half of what the new part cost. That labor don't go into what the vehicle is worth. I hate to break it to you. So anyway, that's what I got for more information on flipping vehicles. So when if I write you and say, hey, I'm interested in this vehicle, when I say, you want $5,000 for it, I say I can give you $500. I am offering you a fair deal. I mean, if you want so much more for it, then fix it yourself. Now, there are exceptions to this. When you have an older, real desirable, more limited item, I'm going to use an H3 Hummer, for example, because people like them. It's kind of a cool little rig. They got their place. If the wife absolutely has to have one, then, well, you might actually have to put the money into it, and so on and so forth, which is fine. Hopefully you drive it for 7 to 10 years without any catastrophic failure, and it essentially costs you nothing. I mean, you put 10 grand into a vehicle, let's say, if you drive it for 10 years, $1,000 a year, that's less than 2 vehicle payments on something a lot newer. So the only way to really get your money out of a vehicle is to, buy something 5 to 7 years old and get a warranty on it and run it till the wheels fall off and just cross your fingers that you don't have any catastrophic failure. And, you look at these older vehicles like, okay, cool. I mean, some of these older rigs, they're much more rebuildable, but God, tearing an engine down to rebuild is just insanely labor intensive. And then you still got to take all this shit back that I was saying you had to swap over from the old engine to your new long block. You still have to put all that shit back on. You're not getting around anything. I mean, a total teardown is a total teardown. Look up a video. So that's what I got for you as far as flipping cars. So, you know, I'm going to post this video when I make an offer on a rig and saying, well, yeah, I can make money if, you know, it's going to cost you. Sorry, you bought a vehicle, you blew the engine up. It's going to cost you. I'm not going to absorb that financial hit. You know, I'm in the business of making money. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Thanks for listening. And if you like my channel, smash that subscribe button and I will have some other videos out for you real soon. So enjoy your weekend.